Hey everybody, it's Tahi117 back with Star Quest, and we are about 15 minutes away from our encounter with the moon. Going into map view here, you can see that I do not have a connection. So this is going to get very interesting very quickly. But we are going to at least encounter the moon. I do need to make an orbital correction so that I actually impact the moon instead of just flying by like I currently am. But the good news is it looks like my satellite is going to, or my communication satellite is going to be passing within, I'm going to be within 500 kilometers fairly quickly. I'm still pointing roughly at the sun to make the most of my static solar panels. It's probably going to be the hardest part of this whole thing. There we go. Alright, so let's circularize at periapsis. So it takes 200 meters, that's good. Now, of course, I do have to impact the moon. Let's see if landing will do it. Go ahead and execute that node. I do have a good connection. Excellent. Most excellent. So hopefully I can do this in one orbit. I can land in a single orbit. There goes a tiny engine there, slowing me down to orbital velocity of the moon, which is considerably less than that of Kerbal. It's going to be very interesting. So I'm coming in from a very high orbit. Going to a much lower, or going into a landing, not even going into a lower orbit. Because normally what you would do is you'd bring your periapsis down, bring your apoapsis down, and then land. I'm just going in for a landing. So we're going to make a few passes. See if we can get a connection here. Oh dear, I'm out of electric charge. Wait. I got some. somehow have a connection. I don't have a connection. What's going on here? Something is going on here. I have a connection, I just have no control. See if I can get above the plane of the ecliptic. There we go. Do have control. Just enough. Still have contact. So I'm going to do something that you really should probably never do. That was a lot louder than I expected it to be. Okay. Here's hoping for the best. So the first thing I want to do is transmit all my data while I have power. So now what I'm going to do is hope for the best. I'm going to switch from orbit to surface. Still falling. I still have good connection. Nine, 8, 7, 6. I've lost my connection. Lost my connection. This is turned into an impactor, which is fine. Some first close-up views of the moon. Poof. There it is. That's all she wrote. See my debris there. Also falling. Nice view of the moon. Or of the Earth, rather. Yeah, that was it. So, let's see what other contracts we can do. And here we are back at the launch pad with a older rocket design. Still works. But this time, we are going into a polar orbit. Ooh. This engine apparently puts out a lot of heat. We are cruising. And as you can see, we are heading north. To a polar orbit. Now I don't have any mapping apparatuses on this rocket, but I do have a magnetometer. Man, this rocket is really moving. There's the southern tip of Florida there. Beautiful view of the Milky Way. And we are going straight to our target altitude. Of 227.771 degrees, or meters rather. Go. Alright, so we want to circularize at an altitude of 227.771 kilometers. This satellite is also set up for interplanetary communication. Specifically, it has a larger dish on it that can be deployed and targeted. Let's go ahead and activate that magnetometer. We want to execute our next note. Nice view as our second stage booster falls away. Let me go ahead and activate that antenna as well. Looks like we're passing over the North Pole. Let's see how close we are to our intended orbit. Fairly close, actually. Only off by about a degree. 4 little hypergolic engines there doing their best. Let's go ahead and activate that antenna and show you what it looks like. It's kind of cool, right? Bet those numbers mean something for those of you that really feel like looking it up. And there we go. Now let's see if I can get this same satellite I'm not gonna chance it. Not gonna chance it. I am gonna log magnetomic data. Transmit that. And it's just kind of gonna sit there. And actually, let's do radio out. Radio out seems good. Some nice sun rays there. So yeah, that completes that mission. That was easy. Let's see if we can do another one. And here we are on the launch pad. Looks like they've already begun the countdown. This is definitely another satellite headed for orbit, very possibly a polar orbit. Man, that engine puts out a lot of heat and thrust. We missed our first mark there, but that's okay. We're still plenty low in the atmosphere, that it's not a big deal. Up through the clouds there, obscuring really just about everything. Nice big puffy clouds, which is good. This engine really puts out the thrust. We are just adjusting my orbit, watching my inclination my altitude. That should be good enough. Deploy that satellite there. Extend our panels. I really should put these on an action group. Alright, so now we're going to circularize an altitude of 227, 221, 771. My mistake. 771, we're going to create and execute that node. It's only going to take us 274 meters a second of delta V. There we go. Beautiful burn. Once again, going to toggle our magnetometer and our antenna. Go ahead and toggle this one as well. It doesn't have a target yet, but it will soon. There we go. We've reached the orbit within a reasonable deviation. I just kind of sit. See our debris back there, and it will eventually fall back to Earth. There we go. So one of our next missions is to land on the moon. I need science data from the surface. But first, I need a low-resolution survey. Now also give me another communication satellite. So let's go ahead and take care of that, shall we? Well, actually, you know what? I think that's all for this episode. I'm Taki117, and remember, it's only rocket science.